Welcome to a very special video in which we're going to talk about 2023, your sign, especially rising, but sun and moon secondarily, and how it's going to influence your money story. And in this video, we're also going to talk to my financial mentor who wrote an amazing book about financial alchemy. It's workbook style, and I'm one of her friends now, and she really helped me change my money story around in 2017. And I think some of her insights and tips can really be useful to you, because this whole video is about wealth, money, and prosperity, and how it's going to impact you by your sign, where your luck spots for money and luck are in 2023, based on your rising sign, secondarily sun and moon. So that's going to be good information for you to use proactively in 2023. Where's the money? Show me the money. But also, if you want to listen to this intro video, it's about 40 minutes long. If you don't want to listen to it, you can jump ahead to your sign. But check out the intro video. I think you'll like it. And I'm supporting her book launch. It's happening the 10-year anniversary of her Financial Alchemy workbook. And it's a really interesting book. I used it myself, and I thought it was amazing to help me really get a handle, not on your money like accounting and budgeting, but on the soul and the spiritual connection you have to your money, honey, and your money villain, and really understanding that money and you are in a relationship to each other, or prosperity and you are in a relationship to each other. And once you see it as a relationship, not as a acquisition or a goal, you're really going to see money differently. So I hope you listen to that interview with Morgana Ray, author of Financial Alchemy. That's going to come up right after I stop talking. And then on the other side of that interview with her, there's going to be about an hour-long content going through each single sign for 2023. This is in my big 2023 playlist. And so if you haven't checked out my Pluto in Aquarius or my Saturn in Pisces videos, etc., I think you'll really like those as well. Okay, guys, we're going to go straight into the interview with Morgana Ray. And then after that, we're going into the all signs. Don't forget, these are time-stamped, and you can check the chapters feature as well, which click the headline or the title of this video, and you'll be able to see how to jump forward into all the content without having to listen to all the content. All right. Thanks, guys. Here we go. Morgana Ray up next. Hi, guys. Are you interested in money in your natal chart, or at least how to be abundant? I'm going to teach you one of my most amazing discoveries, how to find the best prosperity strategy in your sky using 4 simple steps. Before I teach that to you, I want to interview one of my favorite people, Morgana Ray. She was my money mentor back in 2017, and I really love how she has helped me turn around my prosperity story. Please stick around for the interview, but also continue ahead to the lesson if this is something that doesn't interest you. We're doing the interview as she's promoting the release of her book, 10-year anniversary edition, on financial alchemy, and she's all about money magic. So we'll talk to her today as well. So I'm going to let her into the Zoom room, then I'll probably read you an official bio, and then we're going to roll with her for about 15 to 20 minutes and move into how you can find the abundance in your chart. And believe me, I've used it and it works. This is how I work for my money. I look at my sky. All right, so letting Morgana into the room. Hey, Morgana.
Hey, ooh, look at that background.
I know, isn't it cool? So welcome.
Yeah.
Before you got here, I did a little intro to let people know that we're talking about financial alchemy and the magic of making money happen, as well as going into talking about how astrology dovetails with the idea that you can be prosperous in non-ordinary ways. So I would love to read one of the bios I pulled for you, because it just gives you some creds, and then we'll go ahead and talk about magic, money, abundance, prosperity, overcoming money limitations, and more. So you are like a 20-time international best-selling author, mentor, coach of 27 years, and you cultivate and support world-changing women leaders to rapidly, radically, and permanently create a new relationship with money that puts love first. And I can attest to that. As I said in the intro, before you showed up, in 2017, you were my money mentor. I traveled all the way to Bali, which is a long way, a long flight, 17 hours later, to be mentored by you for a week, and it was transformative.
That's the reason I'm here. Is honestly, you're one of my favorite people. I fell madly in love with you while you were with me in Bali, and the way healers and creatives make money is not the same way that people who are purely entrepreneurs make money. Like, there's actually a very popular book in coaching circles, and it's from 100 years ago by a guy named Waddles, The Science of Getting Rich. And I was actually chatting about that with a friend because that book never worked for me. Because there was sort of a very selfish orientation. This whole thing about like huge wealth is our birthright, but there's no care for others embedded in that approach to wealth. So those of us who are the built-in do-gooders and healers and empaths and caregivers, that does not open the door necessarily for us, because we operate from an almost involuntary need for integrity and compassion and justice and healing. And then the money becomes an afterthought. And it's even more important for the healers of the world to have a fantastic, love-centered, in integrity relationship with money so that we can create a better world, the world we want to live in, do good and prosper at the same time.
Yeah.
It's not enough for us to just have our own while others are suffering. And any paradigm that doesn't take that into account is always going to fall short for us.
Well, I couldn't agree more, because I read the same book and it didn't work for me either in a certain way, as I think he says in that book, unless it's the other guy. But, the thing is that it's also the concept of win-lose that's so strong in that kind of literature. You're winning at the expense of somebody. It's like you're going to win the money game, win the prosperity game. And since I'm tying astrology into our talk today, this is kind of fascinating. And I'll show your chart without your birth time in a minute. But in your natal sky, your moon is conjunct the fixed star Altair, which is a military star. But the moon is about emotion and caring. And the military star Altair is also about winning. It's like playing to win. But the moon is about nurturance. And that nurturing moon on that star in a very powerful place in your chart, the house of its joy, conjunct the healer, Hygeia, is why I think that the whole idea of we can all win, which is definitely a feminine approach, a cooperative, a complementarity approach, rather than the competitive, more fear-based model of climbing up something over people. You know what I mean?
It's so funny that you said military, and I thought, I think I'm a bit militant about my values, that everything needs to be win, 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 and not this zero-sum gladiator game, because I don't see that as sustainable. So maybe that's where I put my military in, is that I'm really passionate about creating a positive outcome for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so when I was in Bali with you, which was an amazing experience, one of the things I learned about money is also the deconstruction of the stories that I didn't know I held. It was a very cathartic time that, ultimately, if you believe money could be dangerous or something, you're not going to create that wealth in your sky. And one of the values of going deeper into the magical side of money, or the non-ordinary side of it, is to, as you say in all of your writing, is to really look at your relationship to money. And that's the reason we're doing this interview, because my relationship was fraught with concern that money could harm me, basically. So that's not so great. That by looking at your relationship to money as if it's an entity or a conscious being, you really do shift your awareness as well. So it's not only just about moving beyond the competitive model, but also looking within more deeply at what money is in your story, how you feel about it. Would that sound about right?
Well, yeah, that's alchemy. It's not just high vibes only, because that's putting a band-aid on real stuff that wants to be healed. And as you know, the healing of the money story or the money experience is never really about money itself. It's about what money represents. So all of our deepest vulnerabilities around love and worthiness and safety and power are going to show up in our relationship with money. But you and I mean, we're just, we're brainiacs. We love to talk about theory and all this kind of stuff. And we can talk about this forever. But it wasn't until I imagined money was a real person, like a human being that I could relate to. That was the moment my relationship with money became real. And it wasn't just some fascinating abstract concept. I believe that, we can talk about money beliefs tons, and we can talk about negative beliefs, and we can talk about positive beliefs. But at the end of the day, those are just ideas. And that's not what motivates us when we're asleep, or when we're just automatic, or when we're freaked out. So when we make money a person, that is real. And then we can change it.
Okay, so I have to share this with the world, because what I love about what you're saying, and this is what I love about astrology, is that you are speaking your sky, like you're talking your natal chart. Like it just trips me out every single time when someone starts speaking and they're literally talking about their sky. So I'm going to pull your chart up, but it's not like with the time of day, so people can't see all of that. Just, it's kind of private. And I want to show people what I'm seeing here, which is that you have an incredibly, really cool combination of factors in your money house that speak to making money a real person, to using magic and money in one sentence, but not from a, high vibe jump, what do you call it? Spiritual leapfrog, right? You have to ground it as well into like looking at the shadow side of things. So I'm going to pull that chart up, and it's in my downloads, and I need to move it to my desktop to drag over, and then we'll share your chart. And I just want to say it's just fascinating, because even though I've seen your chart 100 times before, now having this conversation is just jumping out at me even more. So let me put it onto the desktop so we can use it. Come on, desktop, open up. And your new book is being released. It's your old book 10 years ago, released again on financial alchemy. And it's, let's just say, well, I'm dragging the thing. It's called Create a New Relationship with Money is a subtitle, Financial Alchemy, 12 months.
Financial Alchemy, 12 months of magic and manifestation. It's been #1 in 7 countries. It's been like #1 mover and shaker in all categories in the US. And 10 years was coming around, and that really annoying inner voice that you just, some of us learn to trust. And that voice came up in 2022 saying, you have to, just telling me it's time to upgrade it, revise it, bring it up to date. So it was a great excuse to have a 10-year anniversary special edition book launch in January of 2023.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'm excited. I remember getting your book like the first year or two it was out, or 3 years out. And I remember the woman who was promoting you back then. I can't remember her name, Lynn Seraphin.
Oh, I love her. Yes.
I had that book for quite a few years before I actually met you in person and we did something together. So it's all one of the days where you can't get something to open up. So I'll just do how do you feel when I talk about you? If I show your chart and we just close our eyes and don't look at the birth time?
I don't care.
Okay.
What is anybody going to do with it?
I don't know. In astrology circles, people are incredibly picky about this. Like, they don't want people to know their data, like, do like, I don't know, astrological magic or something. That's for the paranoid. Let's just pull you out of the software. It's easier.
I was interviewed as a witch many, many years ago on a really big radio show. And somebody was so afraid of having a spell cast against them. And my response is, any magic you do for yourself is stronger than anything anybody else can do to you. So, my magic is close to home, so I'm really not worried about somebody else casting a spell on me.
Can you see your chart?
Yes, I can.
Do you have a crow issue? Like, are you a crow person? A crow landed on the window just now.
No, but it's really funny because my name in Irish mythology is the Morrigan, who is associated with crows. So whatever.
Yeah, I just landed right there and now it flew off, and I don't have that happen
Maybe
very
because I was talking about witchiness.
Yeah, you were. So the crow agrees. So bottom line is what I wanted to say for the astrology geeks out there, besides the value of this work that you can do on your own with this workbook, or, I was so fortunate enough to study with you, Morgana, and made my first ever online sale, like within a few months of seeing you, like, and made $4,000 for my first ever try at it. And I was like, oh my God, this stuff works. So I was giving my stuff away for years before that. So in this part of your story, your second house is the money house, right? And this is where everything happens. And if people have problems here, problems happen with money. And if people have good things here, often good things happen with money. And I'm fascinated that you have Neptune, the god of imagination, the god of magic and mystical stuff, the god of even hypnosis, sitting in your money house, because wherever Neptune goes, so does the woo. This is the total woo planet in the house of money. And typically, people born with this placement struggle to make money in a way that is pure, enlightened, unconditionally loving, and doesn't cause harm. Because at the highest level vibration, Neptune is the unity consciousness that we're all one. So the Neptune second house people can often struggle with, like, I can't just do this thing because it doesn't align spiritually for me, and have to find the road in. And I do remember even at one point you mentioned to me coaching in the model you were first in felt also a little bit too something. You had to move into a deeper spiritual element. Is that true?
Well, I couldn't honestly, no matter how many certifications I had, no matter how many celebrity testimonials I had, success stories, great marketing, websites, public speaking, people wanting to hire me, it didn't matter. I still could not actually make money and accept money successfully. I was struggling to make $100 a month living in Los Angeles in 2002. With celebrity testimonials and all these certifications. It's mind-blowing, because I can't make money if I fear I'm going to cause harm. And nothing made sense, because I was not only getting all these coaching certifications, I was taking every business class and every woo thing under the sun, and nothing worked. Everything that was guaranteed to work didn't work with me. And finally, in like this really dark, despairing, I give up, I don't want to be alive place, kind of hitting, it's like sinking to the bottom of the ocean, which the great thing is that the only place to go is up. It was when I was in that horrible place that I had my shift. I had just a very surprising experience with a coach I'd been working with for months, and nothing that he suggested worked. And then this day he asked me, if my money was a person, who would my money be? Weird question. And in that moment, I saw who my money was being in my life at that time. And it was this big, scary, dirty, violent biker dude. Nothing wrong with bikers. This biker was really bad. Bikers, we love you. But this guy wanted to kill me. He'd been causing fights and was just dangerous, and I could feel it. And that was my big aha moment, where no wonder, no matter what I did, it didn't work, because subconsciously I was protecting myself from the very thing that I was pursuing and doing everything right to achieve. And I believe now, because I've coached thousands and thousands of clients since then, that when you're doing all the right stuff, whether it's money or health or love or whatever it is, and you aren't seeing the results you deserve, and it doesn't make sense, the odds are astronomically high. You high achiever who's not getting the result you should be getting, the results are very high that you are actually protecting yourself from the very thing that you want and need. And the key is to make it safe. I believe change happens at the speed of safety. We are not here to harm anybody. And when things become safe, then they happen, and they can happen really big and really fast and much easier. So when you're talking about the integrity, when I faced the money as a monster, as a bad person who I couldn't possibly have in my life, I had to get rid of it. It was just clear nothing was going to change. And that created a new problem. hey, I got rid of the monster. Now I have no relationship with money and I live in Los Angeles. So I intuitively knew that I needed a relationship with money and it needed to be completely different and safe. And when I asked myself, who could I want in my life so much I would be willing to have it in my life, even if it was money, because that's, where I was. The person who showed up in my mind's eye imagination was this romantic, handsome sweetheart who loved me and was safe and trustworthy and wanted to be with me, even wanted to woo me. And I could see myself through his eyes, through the eyes of love. And that experience itself was so deeply healing. And the biggest piece is he shared the same values. He didn't want to harm anybody either. He wanted to save the world too, and he wanted us to do it together. And that changed everything. And I could feel how much he wanted to be with me, how pushing him away was breaking his heart. And that wasn't fair because he was actually really good and kind. So we made a deal that when he brought me gifts, he would bring me the right clients. And my job was to say thank you. And the way for me to say thank you would be to say, this is my fee, with kind of the subtext energy going on inside my head is, isn't he dreamy? And then let them make a decision. And that was how I would say thank you to a gift, was to, instead of going, and get all freaky when somebody asked me what I charged, as if it was this, shameful, stinky monster that I didn't want anyone to know about. Instead, I'd go, isn't he lovely? Just say the number and let adults make the right decision for themselves. I don't need to manipulate or overcome objections or talk anybody into anything. My job is just to let the person in front of me, to just care about them, see if I can help them, and then let them decide. And that is the path that has literally made me millions of dollars.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, because in your sky, and what I like about the way you're doing it is like, you slay the demon, the money monster, the thing that's in the way, but then you have to have like an ingress or a movement into a feeling good about the relationship with money. And in your chart, the Lord of your money house is Mars. The Lord, meaning the planetary body that rules your money house, is Mars. He is conjunct Cupido, the god of falling in love, the planetary body, and the Lord of your house of significant relationship, as in long-term committed love relationship, is Mars. So it's like you hacked your money code to say, I like to use magical, mystical, non-ordinary, unconditional loving means to make money, that I'm going to use my Mars, the Lord of my committed relationship house, on Cupido, falling in love. It's almost like your chart says, I'll make money when I learn to be unconditionally accepting of reality, because that's Neptune, not just your money. And Neptune is very Byron Katie, right? Like, don't argue with reality. And then your Mars is like, okay, and I need to feel the passion. I need to feel the love. I need to be excited by something. Mars on your ascendant.
I had to make money a cute guy just so I could have it in my life. How's that?
Exactly. And you know what? You couldn't do it any other way in your chart, is what I mean. Is like, this is the way your chart codes. And this is going to be true for some Libra risings as well. Out there, when you listen to the rest of the video, I'll be hacking your 4 steps to get your money out of your chart, but in the educational portion. But in this case, it's really also about looking at the Neptunian feature here, because really at the end of the day, the way you use your talents in your coaching privately or groups of people, or even the way you write your book, have written your book, you're talking Neptune all the way through it. And Neptune is not just about the magic and the non-ordinary, but it's also about the art of storytelling, the art of weaving a picture together for our imaginations. And what is more imaginary than a money honey? That's what she calls it, guys. The money honey is your partner that you imagine money really is. So cool.
And the trick is, you have to go through the monster first. If I get really crude, I'll say things like, you can't have both, because the money monster will cock block your money honey, which is kind of a way of saying that it will just interfere and cross your wires. So there's the monster itself is like a portal of initiation to go through and heal the wounds that have made you feel unlovable, unworthy, unsafe, or powerless. Sort of like Persephone going into the underworld and then finding passionate love and healing and her life purpose through the process. And then when you bring out, this is the alchemy, and I lay it out in great, easy 6 steps, detail and nuance in the newest edition of the book, Financial Alchemy, 12 Months of Magic and Manifestation, the 10-year anniversary special edition. But when you really flesh out the monster in its worst, biggest, most powerful ickiness, and you slay it and choose yourself, you create all this energy and all this momentum and all this space for so much love. And that is the essence of the money, honey. Does not feel like money, but we call it money because money is that area of life that needs our love and healing so much as individuals and as a species, for really healing the world and our next level of evolution.
Yeah, I totally agree. And, you know, it's so funny as well, because in Indian astrology from India, but I'm going to use a technique from India on your Vedic astrology on your natal chart, the Lord of your first house, the planetary body that rules it, is Venus. And I misspoke earlier. Venus is on Altair because I wasn't looking at your chart. I was remembering it from this morning. Venus is on the star that likes to play to win and win to play and all that stuff, the military conquest star. But it's also about the eagle's eye view. Just FYI, it's the eye of the eagle in the constellation Aquila. But what I'm going to go back to for you and for the geeks out there who are into astrology is that when the Lord of the first house, in your case, Venus rules Libra, is in the 5th house, it's considered to be the manifestation signature. And that's why a lot of people, by the way, are really masterful manifestors, right? But you're also teaching people how to manifest. And this is where it really gets interesting. Your moon in the house of writing, in the house of its joy, is with asteroid Minerva. I didn't draw it in, but it's there, the goddess of knowledge and wisdom and books and knowledge that comes through parchments and scrolls, talking to a Venus sitting on a powerful star in a powerful place where she has the manifestation goods. Like, this is the classic chart of a manifestor, but you teach it because the 3rd house is teaching as well as writing and storytelling. So you're teaching people how to do the thing that you actually do naturally. Actually, you were just born to manifest.
Well, and I think you were at the live retreat at my house several years ago. And there was another woman at the retreat named Pam. And what you don't know about her is she came to me through my book, like so many people do, but she had her first $250,000 sales month using the book before she ever hired me. My reason for writing the book is, first, I can help a lot more people than I can coach individually, so that I can go off and marry my husband 100 times in 100 countries, which is what I did after I slayed my love monster. And the other thing is, my business model is not making people dependent on me. Like, I want people to just go off and be wildly powerful and happy and effective in their lives, because that makes the world a better place for me. And that's why I try to put it all in the book that I can. And then people who know they want more are smart, and they'll find me. I'm not that hard to find.
Yeah, exactly. And that's true about you too. You're not, you know, having done Bali with you, which is quite intense and very relatively expensive at the time for me, it's not like the next thing you do is like you peddling the upsell to the $1 trillion club for 100 grand or something, which is again that Neptune values in your 2nd house. You know, it's fascinating to me because you're doing this book republication on the cusp of your birthday, the edition, 10th edition, right? And you're turning 56, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so you cannot make this shit up. This is what I always say on my channel. It's my thing. It's like the age that you're going into is called the 9th house age, and it's the house of book publishing. And you're just about to step into it on the anniversary redo. And the big celebration is on the 23rd of January. But as soon as you go into the month of January, you're engaging your beginning of your 9th house age. And so you're stepping to this house of book publishing. You've got a book, you're redoing it, but it's even bigger than that. The words for the 9th house are humanitarian, God, God, wisdom, truth, Dharma, international, teaching, educating, and book publishing. So fascinating in the money story. And guys, if you're still watching, when I do my next part of the video, I'm going to teach you about the money stars you need to know about. There are 3 stars for wealth in the sky. Morgana, you have one of them. Congratulations. Ding, 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 ding. You have on your series, I didn't draw the star behind it, but the star is right there. And the star is Betelgeuse. Remember that movie, Beetlejuice?
Totally. Yeah.
It's the same thing. They named it after the star. So Betelgeuse, pronounce it as you will, is a star of great wealth. And it's sitting on this goddess of the harvest, the abundance, the great mother. So she's kind of like the rescuing mama for Persephone in the underworld. And she's got the idea of flourishing through the harvest and the abundance of the grains and the things that we can grow and then enjoy. And so it's an interesting placement because it's in your book publishing house. So it suggests that in a lot of ways, or teaching, like being the professor or the teacher or the mentor or the guide. So it really suggests that your wealth does accrue and will come through that place, but in great measure. And the way your series is lining up with your ascendant, it's called a trine. So she's flowing her love towards your very identity. So there's an opening here in this lifetime for your a wealth accumulation, but the 9th house is ultimately an altruistic house. And it's also a Lakshmi house. Lakshmi is the Indian goddess of, yes, of wealth, prosperity, and abundance and goodness.
Well, you know that my whole retreat is using goddess archetypes. So when you talk about Minerva, you also talk about Altera. I'm thinking the goddess Athena, and you're bringing in Libra and Lakshmi. So I'm just,
Well, of course. And there's Athena herself, she's often associated with books, and she's in your 7th house. And the 7th house is the house, she's knowledge and wisdom, as is Minerva on the moon, which I didn't draw Minerva. But, the 7th house is considered to be your marketplace or your audience or your clients because of its 10th house position for your geeks listening on astrology. So your marketplace, you want to push in your natal sky, Athenian things into the market, wisdom, knowledge, literature, books, strategic ideas, thinking way ahead of the curve as well. Athena is very geniusy. I always jokingly call Athena the Mensa of the zodiac.
Well, all of my favorite clients are what I call Athena women, are just, the super smarty Hermione Granger, smartest woman in the room, with, very analytical with a dose of magic attached. It's funny what you're saying about the book, because I'm approaching it with 0 expectations. I just sort of got my intuitive marching orders that this is what you have to do. This is what you're supposed to do. And just take one step after the other. And what becomes of it is not really my business, because that's when the wonderful stuff happens.
Well, the year before, like the age of 55 is an incubator year. You're in your 8th house age, and it's ruled by Venus in the house of manifestation, and the house of creativity, and the house of the muse. And so in a way, like I always caution clients in your 8th house age, and there's a cycle for that called perfection ages. It's actually best to just let everything be kind of in like a cocoon chrysalis mush up until you know where you really want to head. And so now that you're moving into this 9th house age and this release is coming, it's perfect timing. There's something that's going to tickle you pink. There's a funky thing on your ascendant called Quoar. Now it's way the hell out there, like near Neptune. Okay. So it's like far away trans-Neptunian object called Quoar. And it's been named, it has the number, which is, I believe, 5,000. And Quoar is particularly exciting for what you've been doing with your money magic, manifestation, love, alchemy work, is that Quoar is about, okay, I just have to I don't want to do it lack of justice because I know what it means, but I want to read it to you because it'll just make you smile. When I read what's sitting on that ascendant, I think you'll go, oh my God, that makes so much sense. So where are you, Quoar? There we go. Quoar, the god of creation, god of the Tonga people. Okay. And he was there this asteroid was there when you're born. So here's the key: the creation of a new system without precedent, being creative and making new rules and building new structures rather than simply following what already exists.
Yeah, that's very exciting for this year, because that's what I have brewing. I think
But
it's
that's your
really
whole life.
important
That's your
to,
whole life. You're born with that.
yeah,
Like, this is never going to go away, girl. You're always going to bust the rules, break the system, do it your own way, create new systems.
it's, well, because I've never been good at replicating other people's stuff. I think it's really important to learn everything
Mhm.
and then synthesize your own thing. It's, yeah, I think we all have different paths. I see other people are very, very good at learning things and making them work. I'm a really good student. I was like a National Merit Scholar with a traumatic brain injury and a coma. So I will study, but what you just described does feel very, very true to me. And it's kind of painful and not something that I necessarily would have chosen, but it's me. So this is what I do.
Yeah. Well, we all need a creation God person in our lives, so somebody who's doing it their own way, starting from scratch, figuring it out. And this is like a nice bookend for where we started, which was that neither of us got anything out of the science of getting rich, but that was a system. Didn't work for you, didn't work for me. So what you did is like, I'm going to make my own system.
I had to write my own book.
And it works. I think this is so pretty that I want to share it so everyone can see how gorgeous this cover is. I mean, I love this cover. Isn't that
Well,
beautiful?
you were there when I took that photo.
Oh my God, that's our getaway?
That
Oh,
was the same photographer, same location.
same photographer. Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
So anyone who wants to get this anniversary edition book, I can highly recommend it. I had it on my bookshelf for years. It's a workbook format. So in essence, you're going to use it. It's not to be just read and then put down. It takes you through.
The first half is a book and the second half is it is really my own system for manifestation that I was using for years. And then I created the book that I needed, not something that I would read, be inspired by, and then forget. I needed something that I would open every day. And then I created it to work for other people.
I'm so excited. Like, I haven't done this book for years now, like literally. So probably about 7 years ago, at least, or more. So I'll probably be ordering it again as well, just to get, refreshed and resetting my story around money. I really enjoyed chatting with you again today. Like, we talk a bit every now and then, and have gotten to know each other since we spent some time in Bali, which I was so grateful for. Game changer. Can I just say one thing about Bali too? It's like, and plus you work with women, which are still my friends. Like, I'm still in touch with them. It's like, at the time that I went to see you, I just knew I was supposed to be there. Synchronicity lined up. I follow synchronicity, but also it was like, if you have an ocean liner on the sea and it's heading in a direction for which there is no prosperity shore. That's basically my analogy. I left, and then within months, I recognized the trajectory had shifted. And right away, I didn't land on the multi-million-dollar store. What I ended up doing, my first island was I actually hit some land called $4,000 in income from a class I taught. And I was still so tentative. I was still healing, from the money monster story, which made him like a Voldemort, really, that my first class I taught, which is quite exciting for me. I just said to people, tip me, here's the tip jar, here's my PayPal. And everyone rushed in and they paid me. And I was like, oh my God. And then I started to really charge. So also the work that you do with Morgana, I'm telling everyone listening, or whether it's the workbook you're doing or the work you do, or however you're using her content, at least for my story, it was like, I got a trajectory change. And once that ship was in a new heading, on the ocean, it's heading in a new direction. There's so many different things you encounter over time.
There's also, I want to say something about that because, sometimes I share the stories about the people who, made really dramatic hundreds, millions, whatever, out the gate. They're starting at 4,000 and then building upon that is actually easier and more gentle. It's less shocking to the system unless you've already been playing it with those numbers for a while and in that world. I started with hundreds and then thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds, and it just builds. And it's really, it's like the cash part, which is important. But it's almost like that's the side dish, the garnish, and the real wealth is actually your relationship with life, totality. And money is, again, that part of life that we as healers, it's like the final frontier for many of us. Of that is that area that we just need to bring our love and healing to really just open up our full life in such a bigger way.
I agree. I mean, being poverty stricken, which I wasn't at the time, by the way, but acquiring money through earnings was my challenge. And being poverty stricken is like having a chronic illness. You know what I mean? So not being able to generate revenue is literally like having some nagging chronic illness that whether, you want to live that way, it's up to you, but once you get into the groove, heal the relationship with money, actually slay the money monster and meet your money honey, so to speak, then also life gets a lot more fun. It's just a lot more fun. Like, guys, it's a lot more enjoyable to be able to make money doing what you're loving and helping people and all of that good stuff. Yeah, so beautiful. It was so good to see you again. And you are now the front end of a really deep educational video helping people hack the money in their chart. I'm hoping as everyone listens to this years later, even could be on 10 years from now, that Financial Alchemy is still a book people can purchase. And I'm going to put in the description box links to everything you need to know in order to get in touch with Morgana, check out her website, grab her book at Amazon. I'm assuming it's going to be at Amazon for the review.
Oh yeah, it'll start at Amazon, but if it's like the first edition, it'll end up being carried by Barnes and Noble and Walmart and Target and everybody else.
Wonderful.
But we'll start with Amazon.
Okay, Morgana. So everybody will have everything to find you in the description box below. Hopefully this is a part of a lovely, lovely introduction to some of my regular followers. I have lots of regulars, to somebody I actually call the head witch.
I love that so much.
I just loved it. You're talking about, magic and your power. You're so powerful. No one can evil eye you. And in comes this crow and sits on the window ledge. Can't make this stuff up. All righty. I'm going to sign off as we sign off. So I won't be doing back and chat with you. Is that okay?
That's fine. Mwah.
Okay, mwah. Take care. I'll see you soon on virtual land.
Yes.
Okay. Bye, Morgana. In 2023, you can find some money in your sky by looking at some of the powerful transits that are going to happen for your sign based on your rising sign. Please listen for that. It's going to always be the most accurate. Yes, secondarily, you may listen to your sun and moon. The sun can actually be your father. The moon can be your mom. So that's why the ascendant or the rising sign is the most accurate. Sun can apply to your career and purpose, and the moon can apply to your emotions and home life and security needs. But still, technically, the sun and the moon may not be all about you. All right, if you don't know how to figure out your ascendant or your rising sign, you'll need a birth time, but check my free description box, my free tutorial in the description box below, teaching you how to do this yourself using whole sign houses, and all astrologers on YouTube are using whole sign houses, okay? So if you're new to my channel, I'm Lori Lothian. I'm a whole sign Western astrologer using the tropical Western zodiac. I apologize for the dinging on my computer. I will turn that off in a minute. And today we're going to talk about how you can find or hack the money code in your sky in 2023 based on your rising sign. Now, let me just be clear. If you really want to know how to find money in your chart, I do have a money code reading. It's on my webpage, and we really go into your personal sky with your time lords, your tools, your money strengths natally, and what strengths are coming up in the year ahead. That's a whole different reading. You may be interested in it. I also taught a course called the Money Code, and that's also in my description box, so you can use those resources as well. You're probably listening to this video that's been mashed up with my interview with my financial mentor and spiritual mentor energy of Morgana Ray. I hope you enjoyed the interview, but if you jumped ahead to where we are right now, that's fine too. So let's get rolling on the story of the money in your sky based on your rising sign. Look for the highlights and the ways to hack things to make them work ever more auspiciously for you. We're going to start with Aries, and sometimes I know you guys are asking me why we always do traditional order. And it's so darn simple. It has to do with the fact that if someone comes into my live premiere and they have not known that I started, let's say if I'm on, like I start with Pisces, they think we're over and they just leave the room. So not that I'm favoring Aries because I have Sun, Moon, Mercury, and asteroid Athena in my third house in Aries, which I could be kind of prone to favoring that, but because I'm being practical. So that's the story. I'm going to stick with it. So we're going to start with you guys, you fiery Aries folk. We're going to talk about where you're going to find some really good money in 2023. So for my time stamper, my sister Nancy, we're going to go now. 1, 2, 3. Aries, Sun, Moon, and rising sign, but always most accurate. Please remember that are the Aries rising people. Now, for you Aries people, one of the big highlights by far that you really want to pay attention to and maximize your professional success perhaps, or your money success in any way, is going to be the fact that Lord Jupiter is moving through your sign for the first few months of the year. Yes, all the way through until May 16th, 2023. Now, you had a taste of that last year, but he didn't get further than the 8th degree between May the 10th and October 30th. And so unless you were a sun, moon, or rising Aries in the first 10 degrees, you didn't get that Jupiter luck on your all over you, all just smelling of Jupiter luck. Now, Jupiter just brings you luck. You bring the luck to you. He brings it to you. It's opportunity luck in general. And because he trines your house of money luck, the 5th house of especially winning money, and he sextiles the house of pennies from heaven and great gains from your career, this is a time for you until the middle of May where you may find yourself prospering in your finances thanks to Lord Jupiter moving through your house. And now this applies to all of the Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising, independent of the degree of those placements. But of course, as time goes on, the later degrees, let's say in April and May, anything like 20 degrees to 29 are feeling the juice. And in the middle of all of that, let's say February to April is going to be the midpoint Aries that get some of that Jupiter juice. So you just feel it out, but still it's an all over blessing for you. Second of all, another money hack for you is going to be Venus. Lord Venus, the goddess of money and love and beauty and kindness and goodness. And she's benefic and she's fairy godfather, mother. She's a fairy god sister. This is going to be an energy where she will be in an unprecedented 4-month stay in Leo, your house of money luck. You can't go wrong there. This is the kind of money you get because you went to the casino, bought a lottery ticket, placed a bet, bought a risky stock, or just felt like it was your lucky day. So money luck coming in spades for you guys, June, July, August, September. Now there's a bit of a retrogradation on July 22nd to September 4th, and that may not be the most auspicious, but the whole general gist is you got Venus moving through Leo, your 5th house of money luck, and then add to the specialness of some of this excitement that she's bringing you here is it also when Venus is moving through this part of your sky, she's basically opening up gateways of kind of like women opportunities, if that means anything to you, because she does represent the feminine and women in general. And for some of you, it may be some of this prosperity is coming through romantic relationships, Venus in your 5th house, or through some kind of sense of connections to females who can benefit you, especially if you own your own business. Now, thirdly, given that Venus is prone to giving her gifts when she can, and that's her highlight of her thing, she does like, let me help. What can I do for you? Let me give you some surprise gifts. There's one other thing I want to tell you about Venus this year. In the month of late February, around the 27th of February, 2023, through to about March the 3rd, she meets in the sky in the sign of Aries with Jupiter. And well, this is going to be really good for all things connected to you, your health, your outlook in life, but also for your prosperity, because together they flow in that trine to the house of money luck and to the house of great gains from your career. A very auspicious prosperity time. How do you use it? Just have a good time. There's nothing you need to do, just enjoy. She's going to be coming off of a connection of all things to Shiva the Destroyer, which is about recreating your money story and your sense of self as well. And Juno's there. So in the sky around that placement, there could be a sense of maybe you want to partner with someone for better finance. And is that a love partner or just a partner? And also, just to bring into the story, Mars is the lord of that conjunction in Aries, and he's in good stead over in Gemini, and he's moving forward, and he's in a broad sextile to what the two Jupiter and Venus are doing. Santa Claus and his wife, or not really his wife, but fairy godfather and mother energies are combining forces in the house of you and applying some auspiciousness to the area of your sky that represents great gains from your career and also the potential to win some money. So Aries, I hope you enjoyed that. This is a brief highlight of some of the sweet spots in your money story. Let's move on to the Taurus folk. And if you're in the live premiere, you haven't yet to hit my like button because some of you forget, or if you're new and you don't know how important that is, live premieres are where the algorithm jumpstarts that video and sends it into the YouTube land. And I'm there chatting with you and watching. Just make sure that you hit that like button. And that really, really does give the video itself a big boost once we're done. Thank you so, so much. And subscribe. Please subscribe if you want. It helps the channel grow. It's a big algorithmic hack as well. I have 47% of my regular viewers who have subscribed, the rest haven't. So please consider jumping aboard the subscription. All right, Taurus, let's talk about some money stories for you in 2023 that you can actually hack or use or be proactive with. That's the whole point of what we're doing here. First of all, you're going to have Mercury moving into your fifth house of money luck for an extended and prolonged stay. And that's going to be supporting you because Mercury is the ally for you. For the Gemini rising and Virgo rising, he's what we call the helmsman of the chart, or the most important planet in your story. And when he's in the fifth house of money luck, you are going to experience good things for your finances. I want you to write these dates down. I got my little cheat sheet here. He'll be there from July the 28th. Do I have that right? Wow. To October the 5th. So that's going to extend like an extended stay of goodness regarding good things to do with marketing, merchandising, selling, or study or learning to increase your prosperity. He flows back to you and sends you all of his love. He does rule the stock market, and you may invest in stocks here, but be careful, of course. Don't overdo it. I'm not your financial advisor, but investments can pay off here. This is more like speculative investments, taking a risk with an investment, or just going to the casino, playing the lottery. He can be a part of games of chance, and this is the house of games of chance and how you can win. So don't overdo it, but you're in a lucky window, July 28th to October the 5th. He does retrograde August 23rd to September 15th. I don't know if that may not be the most lucky part of that larger chunk, or it may be the lucky part. All said and done, it's a lovely transit for you. Go with it and enjoy that story. Okay, what else can I tell you? So everyone gets an individual custom treatment here. Mars is moving direct in your earnings house, and it's going to be giving you some momentum in your finances this year from January 12th to March the 25th. You may as well ride the wave of a forward moving Mars. He was retrograding there for quite a while, since October 30th, and he's been in your money house since August 20th. A lot of Tauruses have been feeling a lot of financial pressure, maybe like spending too much, a lot going out, but not a lot coming in, or having to make battles and heroic efforts around resources and finances. However, that's clearing, and as he goes direct, you have a lot more flow and ease as he knows exactly where he's headed and what direction he can support some momentum in your money story, January 12th through to March 25th. Know this is a great self-starter placement. When Mars is in the second, it's really good for doing your own thing, being your own business person, creating your own wealth. And so if that's something you've been thinking of doing or already do, it really does support you. So we got that two for deal so far. We got the Mercury, Lord of Mercury in your money lock, and we got Mars moving forward in your second house of earnings. Now, if you want money coming through land, property, and real estate, whether you're buying, selling, renting, or leasing, it doesn't matter. Just things to do with land and property, or unfortunately inheritance, I will say that. You do have Venus moving through your fourth house from June through to October, and that can definitely look like some money coming from family of origin. Even mom and dad just might lend you some money, or you may just cash out because you sell a property or something like that. I'm going to give you the exact dates because it's pretty critical for you guys to know that that's going to be, June, July, August, September, but more precisely, she enters in there on June the 5th and leaves on October the 8th. So that's going to bring into your life money from your family, your mom and dad, family of origin, legacy, wealth, inheritances are possible, but also the sense there of if you need to extract money from property by selling a property, this could really open up some possibilities for you as well. So there you go, Taurus. Those are some highlights of your money story. If you want to get a personal reading with me, like the money code, or do my class in the description box, you'll get a lot more detail. Certainly your natal chart is different than a general reading, right? You have superpowers in your chart that you won't find when I'm talking about all Taurus rising, sun and moon secondarily. Gemini, sun, moon, and rising sign. Well, Gemini, this is going to be a time, 2023, where some prosperity can show up in your life. And where will it come from? Well, one of the ways it could show up was really early in the year when the Lord of your sky, Mercury, was moving through your eighth house of chunky money. Now, that was an early in the year story. You may be watching this video after, but I will still give it to you because hindsight can be fun. And 2020, Mercury moving into that part of your sky, December 6th to February 11th, can bring auspicious things through sale of property, negotiations and deals, marketing and merchandising, property or real estate, inheritances, but finally and lastly, stock markets, investments, etc. So that was a little bit of early on auspiciousness for you guys in particular, just based on the fact that Mercury in your eighth house as Lord of your sign is moving in your favor in the chunky money part of your sky. Could have been able to pay off a debt, get an insurance claim to work for you, have a tax rebate, or finagle that kind of shared resource money, even money with a business or love partner. Now, what else is happening in the sky that is auspicious for you in particular? Well, one of the things I'd say is that the house of great gains from one's career, where we generate money because we are succeeding in our reputation and purpose, is called your house of good spirit. It's your 11th house. And this is where Lord Jupiter will be from December 20th, 22, all the way through to mid-May. He's only here once every 12 years. It's a very special time for you. And even though he tiptoed in there and just made it a little bit in to the 8th degree back in, May 10th through to October 30th, he really didn't support most Gemini risings unless you had your Gemini rising degree, sun or moon, let's say, in the first 10 degrees of Gemini. Otherwise, the rest of you are waiting for your turn. Now he's going through the entire sign of Aries, therefore flowing, loving, great career gains to you directly as he applies to your ascendant, most accurate, sun and moon secondarily. So most of you are going to feel this now for the first time. Some of you got a hint of it earlier in 22, but certainly this is going to feel very fortunate, and you might be surprised, like promotions, raises, greater income from your career, just things are picking up, and you might be surprised by how much success you're having by generating revenue from purpose career storylines. Second of all, Venus does meet with Jupiter in this part of the sky, and that's going to happen February 27th to March the 3rd. There's a lot of potential for you opening up significant bounty financially, or in that window of time. It may have you connecting with a partner or partnering with someone else, or even getting a contract or an offer for something. And you do have Shiva the destroyer, where you're trying to recreate something financially in the way that these gains from your career are happening for you, because Venus will be powwowing with Shiva the destroyer, like it's burning the forest fire that makes the blueberries grow. The new growth is here in the way the earnings from your career or the greater gains from your career show up. Lastly, this is a windfall, pennies from heaven. Yay, cosmic and karmic rewards house. It's possible that some of you are going to have a sudden windfall with this placement. I'm not going to guarantee it, but it could happen. So if that does happen for you, just enjoy the ride. Anything else I want to tell you about your money stories? I think that's it. I hope that it gives you a little excitement for the year ahead as you prepare for some positive money developments in 2000. Oh, let me add one more thing. If you're a Gemini rising with barter and trade from foreign lands, and you do PayPal and Stripe in order to process things, or you just have international money sources, that can really help. Jupiter can really help increase that and make it much more successful for you. And that will start up for you basically in the month of mid-May of 23 to 24. It's a whole year-long blessing, FYI. So there's just that general, okay, if you make money that way, this will be a good time for you. Let's keep going, and let's make sure that I have, did you guys hear the sawing out there? I'm in my new home. I'm going to show it to you in my next video. It's kind of messy because I got unpacked boxes and stuff, but there's construction next door, and I knew that, but they don't usually have that noise, and they've been sawing away out there. I'm like, oh my God, I got to do a video in the middle of a saw. It sounds like a buzz saw. They're working on the roof of the building, which means I'm up high and they're right in my face. Are you in the premiere with me? Please hit the like button. And please, I hope you watch Morgana's interview with me, because honestly, she's transformational when it comes to money stuff. And if you have a desire to workbook your way through a whole year of financial exercises, and I don't mean boring, I mean spiritual ones, get her Financial Alchemy book. I think you'll love it. Alrighty. Of course, I'm telling the Geminis that really, because you guys like to read and find new information and ideas. Let's move forward then to the Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. I forgot to I forgot to move my video forward with a little. I'm not going to do it today, but it is time stamped, okay? And it is chaptered. All right, so where was I? It's more important for the longer videos. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. Where are the money blessings in your chart? I think I might call this video Find the Money Blessings. I'm going to use something else, but I think I like the blessings actually. So finding money blessings in your chart. Let's talk about you and where these blessings come from. You're going to start to develop. I'm then not necessarily chronological here. I notice you guys probably noticed that I'm just like all over the map, but I'm going with I feel the most power, right? So it's early on in the year when Mars is moving, Jupiter's moving through your 10th house, that you're experiencing this new level of career success. Quite exciting for you. Jupiter expands your range of success. You can get promotions, you can get up leveled, you can get new levels of power in your career all through 23 until the middle of 2000, until the middle of May. And Venus is meeting with him up there, and that's going to be double your blessings, double your money, double your fun around February 27th to March the 3rd. Now, they're going to be teaming up with Juno co-present, so it could be a new contract or agreement, a new way of working. If you're looking for a job, you could be getting a new job. That's exciting, and you're really going to enjoy it. As Venus joins with Jupiter, it incites a golden opportunity in your work, but it can also increase your finances. Why? Because sometimes we get a raise, a promotion, but not more money. Why do I think this is good for your money? I think it's good for your money because then Jupiter immediately in the middle of May leaves into your 11th house of great gains from your career and your reputation, etc. So there's a sense of whatever is being germinated by Jupiter and Venus around February 27th to March the 3rd. By the time you get to middle of May, you're seeing the harvesting of it. You're just seeing financial gain basically in your work and career space and the possibility of a pennies from heaven vibe. Now Jupiter will be in that 11th pennies from heaven, windfalls and karmic rewards and great gains from your career, making it quite expansive and exciting, and also up-leveling your visions and goals and dreams for your own life. And that is going to happen for a year. That's like mid-May of 23 to 24, and it only happens every 12. And as he does that, he actually is going to bump into, of all things, the North Node, and that's exciting. And that's like the North Node makes Jupiter bigger and bigger and bigger than he normally is. He like it blows up like a helium balloon, or he blows up like a, I don't know, he blows up. He gets extra large in his luck, and he's bringing you lots of luck in the great gains, but also pennies from heaven, Cancer risings. Sun and Moon secondarily. This time where he blows up the North Node and the North Node blows him up in your 11th house is happening roughly the last week of May and the first week of June, with a kind of epicenter around June 1st and 2nd. So May 30th, June 1st, June 2nd, whatever, around that time it's really intense. So you could have a real financial pop, and you could even have some financial windfall vibe here. And windfalls, you know, half a dozen of one or the other, what a windfall means to you. All right. But there is that sense of pennies falling from heaven and a great gratitude for what might be going on in your finances then. And then last but not least, you know, Venus never stays more than like 4 weeks in any given sign. But this is a special year. She's going to be in your money house. Show me the money, your earnings and your cash flow and your possessions and your resources and resourcefulness. From June the 5th to October the 8th, that's extraordinary. And it's just one long extended stay with a little retrograde around July 22nd, if I remember correctly, until September 4th. And the retrograde could you just be retrenching a bit on your strategies around the money story, but all said and done, it's excellent. Or money from the past that was owed you comes back to you, especially, you know, like tax rebates or insurance payouts or something like that from the 8th house. But as she's retrograding, it's not so important. It's really just 4 months of Venus. Like, you're going to be rolling in the dough, but also you may find yourself able to afford a possession that you want, like to buy the luxury car or the really beautiful sofa, or even real estate property or land. She rules your 4th house of real estate. And as she's 4 months in your 2nd house, you're blessings financially could be about the ability to buy or sell a property and cash in there as well. I'm looking at that as one of the most auspicious times of your life financially, as a Cancer rising, especially. Your sun and moon is quite secondarily. So enjoy it. Enjoy this time that Venus is blessing you, as well as Jupiter, in your prosperity as a Cancer rising. Let's continue on now. And I cannot stand, I think in a past life, someone must have stuck me in a turtleneck. I don't like anything touching my shoulders. And my mom had a thing where she was fixated on anything on her neck. She couldn't wear a turtleneck. I know, I need a family system session. And my son couldn't stand to wear underwear. So there's a condition that has to do with the feel of fabric on your body. And certain fabrics I just can't stand. There's a name for this thing that I have, my mother had, and my son had. So you've always wondered why I'm always doing this. I don't like things on my shoulders. I don't like feeling contained. Why am I telling the Cancers this? Usually I'm telling you about my hunger attack or the food that I'm eating. Anyway, if you're in the live premiere, hit the like button, please, and enjoy the rest of this video with me as we talk and gossip together in the chat. And I love you guys, all my regulars who come in all the time now, the Feral Writer and One Wise Lady and One Rare Bird and Stephen the Jupiterian and Kelly K and Amber, and I can't remember Amber's last name, Jupiter 8, like, yes, a great channel names, really. Love is all you need now, and all you guys, thank you for being in my room, misbehaving, of course. What a clever name. All right, let's go. Leo, sun and moon. So in your story, Leo, sun and moon, but secondary, but rising sign most accurately, you're going to find a really strong blessing. I'm going to jump to the good news right away. No, I'm not. I'm going to start slow. I'm going to build up. Jupiter is in a Lakshmi house, a luck house, and a prosperity Lakshmi energy of your 9th house. People often forget that. They think the 9th house is just about God and religion, but it's actually a very lucky house, especially to do with father figures as well, but it's just lucky. And it has to do with flowing trine towards you. You can be an agent of your own luck, but also some prosperity sometimes comes from that 9th house as well, as it sextiles the house of great gains, and it sends a lot of flow backward toward your house of money, luck, the 5th. So, it's good energy here financially. And that's true with Jupiter moving through this part of your sky until May 16th. Then Jupiter moves into your 10th house, and some of the great gains will be because you have career expansion and opportunity. But the thing I really wanted to land on for you was the glorious Venus transit through the house of you. Now, Venus brings luck and goodness and everything to everywhere she touches. Enchanted fairy godmother, right? And she's going through the house of you. And that's going to happen June, July, August, September to October 8th, June 5th to October 8th. Now, you are charming. You are likable. You are popular. Your miscongeniality. You feel more beautiful. But on top of that, you can generate a huge amount of energy from this particularly luscious transit that you can apply in an auspicious way toward things to do with 5th house matters. That can be generating money from your independent business, generating money from windows of opportunity in gaming or lotteries, or going to the bingo hall, or betting on the horse races, or going to the casino. Don't overdo it. And like earlier than that, I forgot to mention that Jupiter meets with Venus as well. Or Venus meets with Jupiter in your 9th house, February 27th to March 3rd. And that could be a real spot of good luck. But it can also be like good luck financially, but also really good luck about things to do with travel to foreign lands, or trips and journeys abroad, or legal matters settling out in your favor, as Venus and Jupiter work together to bring you legal magic in court matters that could also have financial payout for you. Now, I would say that with Venus moving through the house of you, she will retrograde on July I think it's the 22nd to September 4th. And this is where it's not so much outer luck around things to do with money, prosperity, blessings, independent business as inner luck. But while she's here, she could bring in a new relationship anytime she's there to the sidebar, or she could bring in one from the past returning to you as she retrogrades during that window. So if relationships are something you're looking for, she can really love you up in that story as she looks across the way at your 7th house, and finally Saturn's out of there. So the relationships that are hard are going to go away after March 7th. Now, any other money stories I really want you to know about? Just scanning the sky. No, I think that's it. I think you're going to love June, July, August, September, October, just feeling like you are charmed and you are the charmed life. It has a fairy tale Cinderella vibe to it in terms of all good things happening for you, to you, and with you and through you. Okay, let's keep going because I want to get you all done in time for me to pick up my daughter from work and give her a driving lesson. I'm recording this on January 16th. My Patreon community gets everything ahead of time. They're probably going to get this 2 or 3 days ahead of time because I'm trying to get this out in a timely manner to help promote Morgana Ray's book launch. As a mentor friend of mine, I like to always support people who have helped me. And let's make sure that my light is on. Mercury, Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Mercury is your Lord, and Mercury spends a shit ton of time in 2023 in earth signs, but you have some luck from him during 2 windows of time. Basically December 6th of 22 through to February 11th of 23. He's in your money luck house. This is a great time to buy a lottery ticket. This is a great time to take a risk on a casino night with a girlfriend or something. You can win money here, basically. Or you could buy a risky stock and it can pay off, but don't take advice from astrologers. That's not what we're here for, unless you have a private reading with me. But then on top of that, you know, Lord Mercury, he, she, it. You know that whole him, her thing, or them, them, them? This is Mercury. He's like super gender fluid. Anyway, Mercury, the he, she, will be moving through your 9th house as well. And this is another Lakshmi wealth house opportunity and luck that can flow in all directions toward your 5th house of money, luck, and speculation, 1st house if you make the money, luck, etc., or money coming through father or father figures, Virgo rising. And this could look like even just, you know, patriarchal forces looking out for you. And so the energy of this transit will happen between July 28th and October 5th, 2nd wave of money luck. So just capitalize on it. Lastly, if you make money from international sources, like your revenue is sourced around in a global way internationally, especially if you use a PayPal or Stripe account, my clients are in England, I mean, like they're everywhere, they're in like Turkey or whatever, Croatia, then what you can do here is that Venus will be going through June, July, August, September, your 12th house of revenue from barter and trade from foreign shores, right? It's like the spice trade house is 3rd from the 10th. It's a traveling salesman house. And if you want to capitalize on that kind of money, because that's a part of what you already do, then this is just going to expand further as Venus navigates your 12th house during those 4 months. So can you lose with that? I don't think so. This is all super good for you. Last but not least, the North Node moves into your 8th house of chunky money. Chunky money, inheritances, tax rebates, leveraging money, getting a loan, selling a property and getting all the chunky money from the sale, royalty income, passive income, revenue, evergreen streams of money, residual income from royalties. I think I said that. This is happening for you as a North Node expands that kind of money and pulls you away, Virgo, from your hustle. Less time hustling for money, more time receiving it. Even spousal money and business partner monies belong here. And when is that North Node doing that? Starts in mid-July of 2023 and lasts for 18 months. So you're off to the races in accruing more money and working less hard in your hustle vibe, in your paycheck vibe, as you get these other sources of revenue expanding in your life. Yay, the Virgo in my life. I know a lot of you, sometimes it's retirement money. I will say some of you may retire and just capitalize on your retirement investment monies as this transit unfolds as well. That, of course, young people who are Virgo rising won't do that, but others will. And rising sign, it's always most accurate, sun and moon secondarily. And the like with me, are you in the premiere watching with me? We're chatting and gossiping away. Well, if so, please consider hitting that like button right now. It does make a huge algorithmic difference with YouTube. And that's why we're doing it. We're playing hack the algorithm together. If you do that for me, I am so, so happy and appreciative. I really am. Thank you. Libra, sun, moon, and rising sign. Well, first of all, your Venus ruled and she is the goddess of money and love. So, you know, you want to pay attention to her because she has so much power in your chart. And she's going to move through the house of great gains from your career, how you can receive raises, promotions, financial gain, how the money can flow at you from all the career efforts you're putting in. All right, that's going to be an extended stay. It's so rare. She doesn't do 4 months in Leo. All right, and she's going to be in Leo for you, June the 5th to October the 8th. Just run with it. especially Libra rising. I don't know why it's happening. I can't tell you all the details. You have the North Node, Uranus in the chunky money house. You could get an inheritance here. That's definitely a possibility for you guys. This could be inheritance money. This can also be, you know, huge money's coming out of an investment you took in the market and it just blows up on you. It could be money because your spouse is earning more money than they've ever earned. It could be money coming from residual income, passive income sources that you put in place, like royalties or like evergreen products you sell and suddenly it's all taken off. Whatever it is, it's exceptional. And so if you're a Libra rising and you're looking for exceptional money, go for it. Like OMG, go for it. This is the time where you're really feeling blessed and you would count your blessings, do your gratitude attitude. This is your time. Now, if it's an inheritance, you may say that, oh, that's a sad thing. I don't want an inheritance. Yes, but that's life. And sometimes that's the way it goes. Money comes, but it blesses you because Venus in the house of great gains is supporting the sense of this being a blessed time in your finances this summer. Now, the other thing that could activate some money for you in a big way is the movement of Pluto into your fifth house of money, luck, or independent business enterprise, powering up big time. That's between March the 23rd and June the 11th. That's a window of time when you've got Pluto out of the fourth house of your ancestors' home, real estate, land, and he does finish anaretic there, which can bring in an inheritance, meaning he's at 29 degrees in the months that follow, right before March 23rd, and then in the months that follow, then he backtracks in there. So this definitely like says for some Libras, there's some legacy wealth, inheritance money, or property sales coming to you for money, land and property. But when he moves into your fifth house at kind of March 23rd to June 11th, he can power you up. And that can be business enterprise, doing your own thing, or it could just be like you actually do win money. So there's that too. You know, why not win money when you can? I would go for it. And you have been trying anyway to like amplify your finances. The North Node in Taurus has been moving through your eighth house for quite a while. And, you know, Jupiter is going to touch down with that North Node on the last week of May and the first week of June in your eighth house of chunky money. Now that can be an inheritance again, right? But it can also mean that maybe you're going to suddenly hit it big on a stock investment or something that you have passive income from, and suddenly it blows up for you. So you've got a lot of stuff going on for your finances that are very positive this year, especially the June, July, August, September, October-ish Venus transit. She is your Lord. She'll sextile your identity. She'll blow up your great gains from your career. And pennies from heaven. It's a windfall house. I don't even know where to go. It's all so good. Blessings there for you in 23 and your prosperity story. Live long, live long. How did you do that? Yeah. Spock, live long and prosper. I had a crush on Spock when I was a kid. I'm an Aquarius rising. Only Aquarius risings would have a crush on Spock. You got to admit it, right? Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign. Well, the energy, am I recording? Oh, please God, yeah, I am. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising. Well, okay, let's talk money. First of all, Mars is your Lord, and he was August 20th of 2022 through to March 23rd, moving through your eighth house of other people's money, inheritances, chunky money, stock investments, etc. Now, when he's here, he also could be helping you pare away and eliminate ways that you've been trying to make money, so to speak, and it's not working. You may have sold off some stocks, or you may have just dumped some things, or you may have sold real estate when he was here. You're just trying to figure out a way here to be more efficient and lean and simplified, I suppose, regarding money strategies that are not your earnings. Let's put it that way. And as Mars is leaving here on March the 25th, that story is coming to a close. Okay, so that was one thing I should tell you about. But also, you're going to go through a period of time in 2023 where there's going to be an activation by Lord Jupiter moving through your seventh house. Now, categorically, this could bring in a great marriage, relationship, etc., but it brings great opportunities regarding business partnerships and being able to reach your audience, your marketplace, your clients, if that makes sense in your line of work. And as he does that, he flows in a gorgeous trine starting in mid-May of this year, 23 to 2024, to your 11th house. Now, there's a particularly auspicious moment to pay attention to, and that's going to be as Jupiter is moving through this house of great gains from your career, okay? And he's like going into that Taurus zone. He's going to at some point activate a really opportune window. This is the last week of May and the first week of June. He's going to hit the North Node and they're going to blow each other up. Larger than life, bigger than life. And at the same time, he's going to form a relationship to the asteroid of opportunity. Her name is Ops. That's most precise around actually the 21st and 22nd of May. Now, asteroid Ops for opportunity, okay, that's the best way to put it, is something like cornucopia, or he's trining her, or abundance overflowing, you know what I mean? Like that horn that has all the fruit that's coming out of it, right? You know what I mean? And this is in your 11th house of great gains and pennies from heaven and windfalls. So will you have a windfall? Possibly. Will you have a great chunk of gain from your career? Yeah, probably. And, you know, in some way, this is like a super juicy time in your life that the prosperity may come through a business partnership, something you're offering to your audience or clients or others in your significant business endeavors, the outside like resources that they see that from your work in your career. But it also could be that money is coming through your partnership, through your love marriage partnership, or there's a great opportunity or bounty that your partner is having that also supports or fortifies and expands your mutual wealth together. So for people who have business partners or marriage or love committed partnerships who are Scorpio rising, especially Sun and Moon secondarily, look for the last week of May, first week of June, especially the 21st, 22nd, with that more precise energy of Jupiter flowing to the opportunity asteroid Ops in your great gains house. And, you know, Ops is in a lovely relationship to you at that point. Ops or opportunity and abundance, cornucopia is sextiling your identity. So you're coming into that. And by the way, you get that South Node eclipse out of your hair finally through the house of you in the middle of May as well. So things start to really lighten up as the eclipse cycle starts to leave you alone a bit for once and for all, and you get less intensity and you can breathe a little bit because you've been going through such a hard time all 22 to mid 23. So that's in July that finally the South Node leaves your sign and you can, in tropical Western zodiac, and to have a sigh of relief. I hope that's useful to you, and we're going to move on to the next sign. How's the recording to get more tea here? So give me a sec. Today I'm drinking chaga mushroom with ashwagandha or something really crazy, some kind of really weird combo tea that's good for your immune system and good for everything. So anyway, back to you guys. I had to pause to get the tea refreshed, and we're moving back into gear. All right, so I think I'm moving on to Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So if you're a Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising, one of the best things that's going to happen in 2023 financially is Jupiter moving through your 5th house of winning money, basically, money luck, speculation money, casinos, lotteries, gambling, speculative stock investments, lucky opportunities around money. Jupiter will be moving through here starting at the end of 22, December 20th, through to, I think, around the 16th, if I remember correctly, of May 2023. This is a chance to actually succeed. Also, if you have an independent business, not just playing in lotteries and stuff, but if you're like a Sag rising and you're self-employed and you have your own business and you're entrepreneurial, this is most excellent for you, like super duper, okay? So now you're expanding here. Of course, I want to just say, this is also fertility transfer for getting you or your partner pregnant, but it's also sometimes grandchildren, signals for grandchildren. I have a friend who just told me her daughter's got a baby in the incubator, and it happened to correspond with Jupiter transiting her 5th house. You know, you can't make this stuff up. So long story short, with this transit, you could find that you're going to have a grandkid, but let's not go there. Let's go back to the money story. Jupiter here is definitely bring you money luck. End of story, all good and said and done. And so you don't want to waste it. Enjoy, maximize, right? This is the time. This is where you're here. Venus can connect, so it's double your luck, double your money, February 27th to March the 3rd, when Venus is in the money luck house as a money goddess in the house of her joy. That's why we're talking about her for you, not every sign, as she joins with Jupiter. In Vedic astrology, a planetary war, but I've seen it look like real-time luck. So they may be fighting, but anyway, Venus is applying to Jupiter. She's got the upper hand. She's predominantly forcing him to do something. And they conjunct on February 27th to March 3rd. They're within orbit 11 and 12 degrees of Aries. Now, This can be Shiva the Destroyer is here. That's the fire that burns the old to create the new. So there's an intensity going on around this exceptionally opportune time. Juno, partnerships to make money, or your partner makes money. I don't know, could be. If you are a Sagittarius rising sun and moon and your ascendant is anywhere near 11 and 12 degrees, or your sun and moon, then this is a really beautiful time for you, especially. Okay, so look forward to February 27th to March the 3rd. I don't know if I can find a downside here. It looks pretty good. Then in the summertime, Venus will move into your 9th house from June the 5th through to October the 8th, a rare 4 months plus stay in your house of Lakshmi house, a luck house for all-purpose luck, but it flows toward the 11th house of great gains in your career and some pennies from heaven, good luck, windfalls, and to your 5th house of speculation. And so that kind of sextile to the 11th and flowing trine to your 5th is why this 9th house is so financially auspicious. And you could also be supported by money from institutions that are patriarchal or patriarchal father type figures. And so look for those money opportunities. If you're in any kind of court case and embroiled there, certainly Venus can help smooth that out for you, especially when Mars joins her. And he'll be joining her around May the 21st, adds 6 weeks. And that adds to your sense of being able to win in legal matters or win in matters to do with prosperity and legal affairs, including, well, visas. If you need a visa in order to make money, that could be it, you know, because you need to get a visa in the country of origin or something. That's a work permit. And anything else I want to tell you in the money story? It's an interesting time if you want to pay off debt. When Jupiter moves into your 6th house, he can either blow that debt up or he can help you get rid of it. And I mean like credit card debt, mortgage debt, whatever kind of debt you may be holding. And so, or debts from the past that are owed to you can come to you. And that window of time is long. It's like, it starts in the middle of May and ends out 23 still active, right? So there's this kind of debt relief potential going on there as well. For some of you, that may be relevant. And finally, Pluto, is leaving your 2nd house of earnings and money, where it's been since 2008. So that just feels like relief. And you may feel like there's more freedom financially. With Pluto gone March 23rd to June 11th from your 2nd house, I mean, he was trying to power you up. It could have been a wealth transit for some of you, but some of you may have been feeling like you had to source your income and your monetary stories from a deeper place of self-worth and self-value. It may have been like soul work since 2008 around prosperity and money stories. So, but as he leaves just those 3 months, kind of late March, April, May into early June, you may be feeling more free financially and less intensity around your money that you've had going on for quite a while now. Okay. In fact, Venus will be in what I call your, chunky money part of your sky in the month of May 2023. And that can also just be feeling like for you, after that Pluto transit that was going on forever, finally you feel like there's some love going on around your inheritance, your 401k, your stock investments, things like that feel really soft and nice for you in May with Venus up there as well. Okay, let's keep going. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign. Let's look at some highlights of 2023 and your money story. Blessings ahoy. By the way, if you're still in the live premiere with me and we're watching, please hit my like button. Super duper would appreciate that. Thank you. So one of the things I want to say that I love about money here for you guys, I mean, I really do, is that you have been going through a Pluto transit that started in 2008, which is not about wealth. It's about you being powerful and sourcing real power from within your depths of being and coming to terms with abusive power that's happened toward you, okay? I know a Pluto rising person who had a really catastrophic financial loss from an abusive move by a person who handled his money badly. That's the kind of lessons that Pluto wants you to get down with, because true power is not always sourced in money. It's sourced from something deeper, and that's coming to an end. But power up, Caps, because Pluto's moving into your 2nd house, which can, because you've been so intimate with what real power is, as he moves into Aquarius and tests the waters of your 2nd house of earnings and possessions, he can really level you up financially. or money that you can access and resource even from inheritances or investments across the way. And as he enters this part of your sky on the 23rd of March through June 11th, he's giving you a teaser of what he's going to offer you up 2024, add 20 years. This is like the flavor of where you're going. So if you've been deeply, deeply processed by Pluto and you've learned the lessons about what real power and wealth mean, then you're going to end up with this as a wealth transit. It's going to level you up financially. And the first taste of this in 23 is coming your way. So get ready for that. Now, Lord Jupiter moves into your 5th house, a money luck house, and he's a luck god. This is play the lottery, go to the casino, get lucky. This is also good for your own independent business enterprise, or, by the way, generating revenue from, no, we'll stick with that. I mean, but you could end up with your children being prosperous as well, and they could kick money back to you at this point as well, if you're an elderly type, or they're just generous kids. And so this is happening to you May 16th and add a year until mid-May of 23. So you're coming into an extended window. Yeah, you get more joy, more fun, more play, more excitement, more vitality, more joie de vivre coming back, but also you're going to prosper with this transit. So go for it, enjoy it. It's coming for you. You're coming for it. And last but not least, Venus is moving through your 8th house, and this will open up what we call chunky money. And you could definitely prosper here in terms of being able to source money from stock investments, inheritance portfolios, money making money, residual income, tax rebates, selling a property. And I don't think I forgot anything, spousal money and joint business resources. And that's going to be basically June the 5th to October the 8th. Venus is spending a long time in your 8th house. I almost forgot, the last week of May and the first week of June, Jupiter will combine with the North Node and blow up powerful energies in your 5th house and really extend the potential here for you. Blow it up larger than life during that window. Okay, so get ready for that as well. It looks really good on you financially. Good luck, Capricorns, in 2023. I'm going to stop the share for a second and come back to you guys. I have to pause. All right, I just had to tell my daughter I'm running behind so she doesn't, skip town without me. I want her to practice her driving to take her tests and pass it. Her brother got his license at like 23, and she said, I'm never going to do that, or 24, 25. Maybe he was 27. And she said, I'm going to get my license when I'm 18 or whatever. We don't have 16 here in Canada. And of course, here she is 23 and still hasn't got her driver's license. Never diss your brother because it'll come back to haunt you is where I'm going. All right, moving on. Am I on with you guys? Oh, I don't want to share the screen. Have I been sharing the screen for some of you and not for others? So this is like what happens when, I think I have been. Okay, whatever. I don't need to share the screen because it's too complicated. I bet you some of you have been looking at it and I didn't need you to do that. Oh my God. That is a hoot, man. So I'm just looking at the whole picture of the year ahead and you guys are like wondering what the hell I'm doing. I didn't need to do that. That's too funny. All right, Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. This is me. I'm a sun, Aquarius rising. And so for us, money, money, money. Well, we already had Jupiter planting seeds of prosperity for us in 2022 as he was moving through our 2nd house. So we've gone through some prosperity seed planting. Lord Jupiter, thank you. And that was in the first 5 months of 22 and a little bit back in the spring of 21. And, then he finished strong October the 3rd, 28th through to the end of the year in our 2nd house, planting golden eggs of nuggets of goodness, beanstalk seeds to grow our prosperity. And then he's done with that. That's behind us now, Aquarius rising. But there is a quality of Jupiter planting seeds, right, and moving on, is that he can now dispense some of his blessings. And one of the big blessing periods is for prosperity through land, property, and real estate. That's going to come up when Lord Jupiter enters your 4th house mid-May and is there for a year. He'll look back at your 2nd house where you planted those seeds and say, look, I told you I was working on your behalf. Do you want to buy a house, sell a house? Do you want to make more money from home than you ever dreamed? Do you want to teach? Do you want to lead from home? Like, I got your back. We're going to prosper down here. And this is once every 12-year opportunity. So go for it, especially the last week of May, the first week of June. Okay. Well, no, like let's say May 21st, he's going to love up the opportunity, asteroid ops, abundance and cornucopia in your 8th house of inheritance, chunky money, shared resources with a partner, money from residual income, passive income, money from being able to leverage money, get a mortgage, yeah. So these kinds of things, or sell a house and get the money from it. So some of you Aquarius risings are really prospering in that area, especially around the 21st, 22nd of May. But then you get blessings as well as he moves through there for a whole year, especially the last week of May and the first week of June, where he's combining with the North Node and blowing up energy in your fourth house. Some of you are definitely looking at prosperity in your home because of what you're doing, like lead from home, King of Mount Olympus in the home. Domestic private life is prosperous. For independent entrepreneurs like me, this is wonderful. But also, because I work from home, but also it could mean some big prosperity boon and bounty around land and property and real estate and even rentals. You may rent a property that's amazing, or you may rent property out. Venus will spend time in May in your leasing and renting house as well. That's the sixth house. It's interesting. If you ever wanted to get a pet again, there's an auspicious window of get a pet coming up as well in the month of May as Venus is traveling through your sixth house. Now, I do feel that that is an incredibly powerful blessing, but I also want to say that you can generate prosperity through your seventh house with Venus being in that part of your sky. Not only does it bring love stories to the forefront, of course, but she's a money goddess in your seventh house of the marketplace, audience, fans, the place you reach out to from your 10th house of career. And so there's going to be this kind of like Venus blow up there during June the 5th through to October the 8th, and that's going to expand your ability to be popular with the masses, to have great appeal with your public, to have financial blessings through whatever you may promote or sell or market outward in the world, if that's a part of what you do. Now, at the same time, Venus will be a sextile to your money luck house and a flow to your windfalls and pennies from heaven. And all said and done, even sextiling the ninth house of Lakshmi luck as well, it's just really good on all fronts. Now, if you were single or whatever, Aquarius, this could be like a time of great passionate engagement, June, July, August, September, with a relationship, especially when Mars joins her. But it also amplifies gains through financial gains through others, including women, but also through your outreach, marketplace, audience, client stuff. I hope that makes sense. February 27th, Venus will conjunct Jupiter in your third house. I will bring this up for you to March the 3rd, just because Jupiter is planting golden eggs in your second. There's a possibility Jupiter conjunct Venus on February 27th to March 3rd in your third house could open up some really great prosperity from anything you're doing in your online sales, online marketing, online communicating and writing area as well. Just keep that in mind. It could open up this door of prosperity February 27th to March the 3rd. Alrighty, let's go on and not spend too much time on me. Aquarius rising, I'm prone to favor myself as four planets in Aries. That's the me first. Yeah, me first. So let's go. First, but always first. And if you're in the premiere and you have not smashed my like button, please smash it away. Thank you. Helps me so freaking much. All you do is click a button and my channel grows. No cost to you, all the gain to me. All right, Pisces, sun, moon, and rising, accurate, most accurate. What's money blessings for you in 2023? First of all, Lord Jupiter has finished his deal with you and he's moving into your earnings house. Been there since December 20th and will be there till mid-May. This is going to level you up. Well, he was there already. Yeah, sure. In 22, he was there already from May the 10th through to October the 28th, but he was only to the 8th degree. Therefore, you didn't get the full Monty. Now he's here giving you his full attention. All of you are feeling more thoroughly blessed around the potential for financial gain regarding the things you're doing in the world that gain that money, but also chunky money, because he looks across the way at the house of inheritances and also money from your spouse. And I know Pisces rising for whom this is playing out now. So this is Jupiter's blessings to you in this area of financial gain in 23 that comes by once every 12 years. And it's ongoing until May the 16th. And then he moves into your third house. And that's a whole other story. You could get prosperous through online sales and working online and things you're doing in the neighborhood. Jupiter in your third house, mid-May of 23 to next year, can help you set up a store, create a local business, or set up an online business and do really well. I would say to you that he will blow up with that North Node in your third house, and a sibling could bless you with financially as well. It could be a window of time because Jupiter's your Lord, where he kicks ass in the house of siblings, and you may get some financial assistance or support from a sibling or an extended family member, aunt, uncle, cousin, niece, nephew type of vibe happening when he meets with the North Node, and that will happen approximately the last week of May of 2023 and the first week of June. And around May 21st, 22nd, he does form a very flowing energy to the opportunity goddess ops in your seventh house of business and marriage partnerships, but also clients and audience. So opportunities coming through those people to benefit you financially may occur in the third week of May. I'm just seeing if there's anything else you need to know. I don't want to rush through you. I feel like the Venus transit in the sixth house can help you eliminate credit card debt, mortgage debt, or onerous debt. She'll be moving through your debt house, and she'll be doing that for about 4 months, June, July, August, September to October 8th. Bottom line, this is a good time for really getting your finances cleared up if you've been holding debt. And she can really support an elimination of that debt during this time, especially when Mars joins her. And Mars will be joining her around May the 22nd through to July the 10th, giving you this lovely window. And she's not yet retrograde, she's direct. Mars is tangoing with her. Mars eliminates things. She's a money goddess. This is a debt house. So it's wonderful for eliminating financial debt during that window of time. Also for getting great leases on properties that you wish to lease, or to lease out a property that you own. And I feel like this is a blessing once in a lifetime, because if you have been beleaguered by debt, this is like a Venus action that doesn't happen very often. So just cherish it. Okay, love you guys, and hope you have an amazing 23. And I'm stopping this recording, and I'm rushing off to get my daughter. Hit that like button. See you guys soon. Big hugs to everyone. Ciao, ciao.